What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of Conversations with Christian. And it's me, Ricky Jones Jr. We also have
O'Neal Delva in the house.
And we are here to have yet another conversation that is going to be beneficial to the Christian community,
Okay.
the Christian faith, and the Christian people.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. And I'm going to say the same.
Baby Jesus, yeah.
Share this with somebody that you love because it's going to be beneficial for them. And my excitement is causing me to talk fast because it is something that I've been yearning to talk about for some time. And he's looking nervous because I said I'm going to come at him this video.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little
Before we get into the topic, let's go ahead and do some spitfire questions.
Yeah, rapid fire. Boom. Okay,
let's
so
get to know
you
O'Neal.
try to get me last. I'm
Ready?
I'm listening.
So, O'Neal, what is your favorite breakfast?
My favorite. I don't really eat breakfast actually. I'm more of a lunch type guy. But
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
No, you answered the question. If
Yeah.
you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
Oh, if I had to change my first name, I would change it to. Sorry, Gambit, don't get mad at me, but I like the name Logan. I would change Logan.
There it
It's
is.
a pretty cool
Name
name.
a four-letter word that starts with the letter B.
A 4-letter word that starts with the letter B. Bath.
All right, good job. What is your
Ah.
favorite type of weather?
My favorite type of weather, I like springtime, so when it's nice and sunny outside.
Nice. Name an onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia?
Name one.
I don't know what an onomatopoeia is.
Okay. What is your favorite store?
My favorite store, my wife will say Walmart because I go there all the time for everything.
Oh, that is my favorite store too. Speaking of your wife, what's your favorite feature of her?
My favorite feature of my wife is I like them thighs and I love them butts.
Okay. So, we know our brother O'Neal just that much.
I love it.
I can tell. Okay. As long as you start licking your fingers a little bit, all right. So, yes, obviously we love marriage. We're talking about marriage and the
my
benefits of
goodness.
marriage and all that marriage has to offer. And Jessica, you know a little bit more about your husband and what he loves.
No, she knows what I like about her. You know.
Boo. Hello, I'm not even going to ask why. We're going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But the desire, the purpose, the reason for this here episode is to ignite, encourage, and inspire Christians and believers, right? Largely because yours truly, Ricky, is tired of seeing a lot of believers that is out here in these streets doing nothing. They have a lot within them. They have creativity. They have abilities within them. However, they're sitting on those talents. They're sitting on that anointing. They're sitting on the desires that they have. But, for whatever reason, they are not doing so. Now,
Oh, snap. So the way you set it up, because you say you coming at me today.
I mean, a hit dog on home.
So you coming at me for something regarding me sitting on my talent, not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and so on. Dang, Ricky, what you about to hit me with today? All right. Again, I do not know what Ricky is about to say or whatever else, but he's been itching at him just for a while.
The intro enough should have ignited some thought because we talked through some plans, some ideas, some businesses, and things like that.
Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna work our way to it. Okay,
I'm listening.
We're gonna start in a place of which we can all receive, and then we'll get to a place where it's gonna, a little agitate us. We'll get to a place where it's like, all right, let's go ahead and get.
Are we gonna fight this episode? Am I gonna want to punch you? Are we gonna fight on camera?
We'll see.
Oh, snap!
And
I've been wanting to swing at Ricky for a while now.
Bro, I saw your fighting style.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
A little bit slow.
This might be the day.
Sounds good to me. So, first thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
Why do we believe that Christians are stagnant on being active to doing the things that they know they should be doing?
Well, I mean, I'll say with Christians, stagnant. Well, we sometimes allow other words or negativity or even our own thoughts to get in the way to tell ourselves that we are not good enough to do the things that maybe God is telling us to do.
Yes.
Or we're not good enough, even though we are talented in that area. We will sometimes scare ourselves out of doing that thing or find maybe a million reasons or excuses for why we shouldn't do or shouldn't start. I'll use myself for example, talking to I think I mentioned this before, my cousin and me going back to school, getting my master's and whatever else, life will always happen, right? Where I was coming up with a million excuses for why I couldn't do it. And he said, basically decision or how did he phrase it? He said it in the sense like, there always will be an excuse, basically. There will always be a reason why you can't do a thing or potential delays and so on. But what you need to do is the only way that we can kind of get something going is by taking the first step, right?
Yes.
Taking the first step and actually doing that thing. So I'll say, though, we sometimes talk ourselves out of, and we tell ourselves that we are not good enough, even though we are probably one of the top people in that area or in what we do and so on. And, but we look at it from a negative perspective. So I'll say it like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love that because even too, as you were talking, it was the idea that we aren't able to do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3 if God said it. Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If God said it because you have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
God wouldn't tell you to do a thing that you are incapable and unable to do. That's just not God. And more than anything, when God tells you to do a thing, as you do that thing, you realize that God is with you to make sure that what you do is what he said that you were going to do, right? And see, there's that other benefit that we as believers have that those that aren't believers do not have, which is one, that will one, never leave them nor forsake them, and then two, an almighty power, all-knowing power, an omniscient power, a power in which created everything that we see is on the inside of us, right? And so that gives us the advantage, and I'm here with that as far as the point of just talking life into people. Because to your point, yes, words could be damaging. Words can be deflating. And a lot of times people are stagnant because they've heard the wrong words. Another reason why people can be stagnant is because they don't know how to start. Right? Which is cool, right? That's true. That's an okay reason. That's an okay excuse. However, we are in 2022.
There are so
much information out there. So many websites. So many people that have most likely done the thing that you are looking to do, that you could tap into to say, hey, how did you do what you did? Because I want to do what you've done, right? And oftentimes people that are further up in life or have done things a long period of time, they desire nothing more than to share that knowledge, to build the future, and to talk to those that are coming next in their field. Why? Because they know that their time is coming to an end. And God forbid that what they have done dies with them. Nobody wants that for anything that they've done, unless it's something that's damaging and they just want to end the world, right? Obviously that was the end to the thing that they did. But in it all, with it all, and everybody else, they desire nothing more than to pass the baton down, to see the next take place, and for their work, the thing that they've done, the field and the area that they've in, to continue to prosper, thrive, and to change and evolve due to innovation and change, because that's what takes place during time. No matter where you are, time produces innovation, creativity, and change. And therefore, we started riding horses. And now, in our cars, we have horsepower. And then, going forward, we're going to have some energy, right? And electricity. And that's going to be the source in which we go to places. And then it's going to be water and the list goes on, right? Then we're going to be teleporting.
What happened to the horses?
The horses just began, I don't know, they're still here, but I don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. People ride horses. I don't know why they ride horses. Have you rode a horse?
I've never ridden a horse. My wife, they rode a horse. I mean, it feels like it would hurt.
Yeah, it looks like it hurt, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working through some things. It looks very sexual.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the way you have to ride is like a...
But you're sitting on the horse's back, though.
I see the view from the side.
Oh, snap. Yeah. All right, then I'm done. All right. But what you're going away from the horses and your sometimes interesting thinking... But you are 100% right. I mean, even script, there's nothing new under the sun, right? It tells us right there that the fact that the thing that we're thinking, and you're 100% right, where there are people who they get excited about helping to build or lead the next generation of innovators in whatever the field might be, So here, I had an idea, and here's the thing. Here's how I got it to work, right? What ideas do you potentially have, and how can, I will say also, at times, we can scare ourselves.
He's saying we, but he's talking about himself. Thank you for your honesty.
Talking about myself, yes. Right?
And
it's good, and those alike. It's good for us to find, I'll go ahead and say a mentor or someone who's done something or been successful in that, area or that arena or whatever. Because like he and I, we've talked a little bit about, for me, like kind of starting a marketing firm and also, wanting to expand and do more with like my kids and my son forever. He's been wanting to create like a YouTube channel or different things. I bought the equipment. I got the MacBooks. I got the Final Cut Pro. I've got the GoPro cameras. I got the this. I got the that. But sometimes I will say, for me too, I can over prepare, right? Where I will try to put everything that I believe is necessary.
Information paralysis.
And, get everything before starting. So then that ends up being a thing where you're forever acquiring knowledge, right? Forever buying software, forever buying equipment, but never really doing anything with it.
Which is the problem with a lot of Christians, right? The problem with a lot of believers, even outside of taking action and doing what they know they should be doing, even with Christianity itself. A lot of people have a lot of information about Jesus, a lot of information about God, but they're acting on little to none of it, right? And the thing about Christianity, the thing about believing, the thing about being a believer is all about relationship, which is a day-to-day, step-by-step walk that you have with people. With relationships, you're going to have some highs, you're going to have some lows. You don't have a great relationship because you have all the information necessary to interact with a person. No, you find out that information as you go, liking that too, an endeavor that you have on the inside of you. You don't do it great because you know everything about it. When you say start, you are great in that respect because as you go, as you move forward, you're going to go through the highs, you're going to go through the lows, you're going to go through the ups, you're going to go through the downs, and as you matriculate through those things, it allows for you to do better and are better, and then it allows you to grow, right? So there's that point. So I'm glad you spoke to that. Now I'll even speak to myself and about myself, because there are some things that I'm sitting on too. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things that I am doing, but there's a plenty of other things that I know I should be doing, such as one, I'll just say writing a book, right? I've already written it. Now I need to go get it edited. And it's like, oh, I don't want to pay somebody, or how can I trust, here's the real truth, how can I trust somebody to edit the book that I have, right? How do I, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, get over yourself. At the end of the day, get over yourself. Pay the person. Trust and believe that who you choose is going to do it right. It's going to be right. And it's going to have their best interest at heart, which is to hold an integrous name, or a name of integrity, that somebody can go to them to get this amount of work done, right? And so I think of it that way. Like Ricky's like, it ain't about you, bro. It's about linking up with people that are doing the right thing, that can help you do the thing that you want to do. Which is right. And so that's a thing that I'm working through, right? Being open to get the help of others. Like Ricky's the one that's like, God give me an idea. I love it when I can just do it myself, because I know myself. I know I'm hardworking. I know I'm diligent. I know I'm persistent. I know I'm gonna see a thing through. But when it involves other people, that's honestly when I can kind of be, kind of a little stagnant.
I mean, well, kind of what you're saying. I mean, if anything, get a non-disclosure, sign the thing, and boom, boom, can't share. But yeah, you're right. Where there are people who are skilled in areas, and that's part of the things. As you were talking, and I was thinking before, I was like, the fact that we sometimes hold stuff to ourselves, and we don't speak up, and we don't share with other people, because there might be someone who did that in the past, or they're beyond that stage. Like, oh, bro, like, you want to get this started? Like, let me give you the books that I read. Let me give you the resources, the connections that I had in order to get you started at least, right? Because we got to get started. We got to start somewhere, right? And then as you're talking, and for whatever reason, like, this kind of Bible story is sticking in my mind. It's not directly connected, but it's connected in a sense. And I like, and I think I've shared before, just how whenever you're reading, scripture or a story, like, you can see it from so many different perspectives, right? Like, you can see it might be speaking to this thing at this point, speaking to something else. But I'm thinking about the story of, like, Peter walking on water, right? We all know about Jesus walking on water, but like, but Peter walking on water, in the sense that you had mentioned something earlier about, just Jesus in I think it was connecting in my mind. It was something about, not allowing us to endure more than we can bear, right? So in this sense of Peter walking on water, like, in that case, Jesus was already doing it, right? But he knew, like, Peter, you can do this thing too. This thing that I'm doing, you can do as well, right? Kind of same thing where if someone has already done something, it's like, you can do that thing as well.
I truly believe
I've done it.
Yep.
You can do it,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
All you have to do is believe.
Yep.
Believe in yourself,
Yep.
believe in the product, believe in the fact that God has put people around you to help you to be successful, to do that thing. Not one person can do it all, let's say, right?
Absolutely.
If you think about like the great stories of success, right? The Microsofts, the Apples, the,
Elon Musk.
all of them, like, they didn't do it on their own.
No.
There was someone, whether, they want to believe or say, like, God placed in their, God placed in their life, period, whether the believers or not. God is moving, he's the author and finisher, of everything. So he's already written, preordained for it to be where these people you'll come in contact with.
Yeah.
Just like you and me, you have people you come in contact with where maybe I can give a nugget, but I can't give it all. Like, as far as like my skill set, my experience, right? Where if there's anything regarding, like communication, or like writing or whatever it might be, like, I might be the person you come to for that. And like, I could tell you how to, properly structure a sentence or how you could do this and that, but I don't know everything. If you think about it, like geniuses, I was talking to my daughters once about, picking a career, right? Picking something that you want to do or she wants to do for the rest of her life. When she was like, Dad, it's hard because I don't want to pick one thing, right? And I said, well, think about it. Like, honestly, at times, people who are successful or geniuses, whatever, they're successful in that field.
Correct.
Like, they know it hands down 100%. But if you take that same person and you then take and try to make them like ask questions or throw them into be a brain surgeon, I'm totally making this up, they're not going to know anything, right? That's not their area of expertise. But if you know a brain surgeon, if you know a person who does this, a person who does that, a person who does that, maybe the idea that you have involves a little bit of this, involves a little bit of this, involves a little bit of that. But then when you open your mouth and you speak up and then you find out about the people around you, they can then give you the little nuggets to strengthen that idea. Last time I was saying, then I'll turn to you and see if you have anything, of course, you want to add. But I am like, so the church that we go to, I like speaking to people because like you don't know their history, you don't know their specialty, you don't know their area of expertise. Like sometimes we see people in the space where we see them, but we don't see them in the real world.
Yes.
We don't see them outside of church. So then in your mind, you put them in this pocket or this group, this whatever. This is my church family who always is the PPA, who opens the door, or he's an usher. So that's all you see them as. But that person might be a VP, might be a president, might be the CEO of a company.
All right.
But you don't know. So like, at our church, I'll say some of the members who, again, you see as servants who are always there serving. But then when they start to speak and then they share what they do, where they do, you're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
That's
like,
amazing.
like,
Very
wow,
true.
you're doing it. Like you are the VP or you are the, president of whatever division within like a big company, Tico, right? I'm thinking like, Tampa Electric and Power or whatever. Like, we have people at the church who are high up there in like, the ranks of that company or whatever it might be. Like when you start to speak to them, it's like, wow, like, okay, or engineering background, or, even me, for example, like, I'm a professor and like some might not see or think like, he's a professor, like, or I'm also, I've been director of communications for a company I've worked for, senior communications manager, currently overseeing communications for all of the U.S. for the company I work for. But again, like when you see people in certain settings, like you would not necessarily know and see them as, oh wow, like that's what they do.
Especially this guy, he's a professor.
So then like when you start to speak to them and you find out a little bit more about their story, and like, oh wow, well I have an idea, like let me run it across that person to get their viewpoint and potentially help to strengthen the idea that I have to make it even better, whatever it might be.
I mean, I love it. I was just contemplating and thinking, like, I know we're not the only ones, right?
Yeah.
And I know that largely too because I come across a bunch of believers at our church that are talented, gifted, and anointed to do so many things. However, they're sitting and stagnant on what they know to be done for X amount of reasons, right?
Yeah.
And it's like maybe, right? Maybe it's a desire and it's a thing for me so much that maybe, which I've had a vision this before, but like starting an innovation center, right? Innovation center where it's known that creation and innovation takes place in this place, and then also there's businesses in this place as well. So it's like a co-working space, but then an innovation space as well, and just being a place where people know that they can come, bounce their ideas off somewhere in a safe place, and maybe commingle and collaborate with people that not only will their thoughts be shared, but then it can actually manifest because the people that can help are actually in that room. Like, maybe that's the thing. So, hey, y'all talk to me, y'all push me up. Now,
today we're talking about, of course, those who might have ideas that aren't going forth or needing to take the step to kind of get it going. But also looking at it from a different perspective for us to speak up more about our skills and our abilities to help uplift and being mindful of maybe people around us a little bit to help encourage and uplift them, or not necessarily to just encourage and uplift, but to give them and help them with what they may have that God has intended or planned for them. So I saw that to say, like, growing up and even now, like, I don't like to talk much about like myself because I don't want people to see it as if like I'm bragging. You know what I mean? Because, like, that's the last thing that, in my mind, like, I would want someone to think, like, oh, who does he think he is? He's bragging or whatever. But it's like...
So you have that much to say about yourself?
No, I mean, like...
The moment's locked in, but he was getting defensive immediately.
Yeah, even, like, talking about, like, salaries, for example, whatever. And, like, growing up is one of those things. Like, I'll be honest, like, I didn't even know anything. I still don't know how much my parents made or make. We might be millionaires, and I don't know, whatever. I just know, like, what they share. But now... I talk to my girls, like, they know how much I bring in for my main job. They know how much I bring in as a professor. They know if anything, like, their mom and I are doing, what we bring in, like, so that they have a clear mindset and knowledge to know, okay, if I want to live this way, or if I would want certain things, like, realistically, this is maybe what I need to make in order for me to live like this or whatever. So same thing, like, you might have skills and abilities, or God has blessed you with certain things. You might have formed a company, and now the company has, you're able to partner with like another organization. Well, maybe by talking about the company that you form and the partnerships that you've been able to establish, maybe like Ricky might have a business idea or concept. Like, I might not be the one to help him to take it to the next level, but maybe someone I connected with is exactly who Ricky would need to get in touch with them. It's good for you to talk a little bit about your testimony, and also to look back, I would say, where you came from, or the little that you had, and what God has given you, and how you can continue to give him the glory, right? And then talk about, like, again, I'm a strong believer of in the delivery too, right? Not just what you say, but how you say it. If it's, like, oh, man, check out my Tesla, I just bought, and this and that. Like, man, I'm just rolling the dough, this and that. Versus it being like, oh, praise God. Like, I was able to, because of the hard work of, the people around me and my company, we're able to partner with this organization. So then I was able to, God blessed me with a Tesla, but let me talk a little bit more about this. And then, like, you're listening, like, oh, man, I've always wanted to get involved in engineering. I'm totally making this up, right? But, my talking to you a little bit, and then even Ricky, for him to be like mature enough to see it as me not bragging, but me like sharing my testimony, and for him to take little nuggets to help encourage, right? So put your pride aside, I would say, as the person who maybe has been successful in delivering that message, and put your pride aside as the person who needs that additional piece to get you to where God is designing or planning for you to be.
Bro, I love that, because I love it because you're added another element and a piece to the how do you start this innovation center business idea, which I love. I'll share it with you off camera, because I want to let you know what
Of course,
it is,
of course.
right? But I'll let the people know because y'all go see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you see.
Yeah.
But then you can put pressure on me, right? Put pressure on me to say, hey, Ricky,
Ah.
I love that idea that you was talking about, which is why I love even to have community, because within community, there's accountability. And so with that, you know, there's a desire for me to have innovation, facility building and things like that. And so be on me. But with that, that's how they can be on me.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, you have shared some endeavors that you have shared with me that have yet to begin. However, you have started, as you have shared today, you started making progression towards the creation of them.
Yeah.
The one I want to talk about specifically is this marketing business that has been talked about now for, as far as I can recall, maybe 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, it's been some
with
time.
the idea that it could be something that not only you do, but that your children do with you and along with you. And it's something that, as we talked about, that would be beneficial for them because they wouldn't have to seek employment somewhere else. They can work within the family, and them and you all build together the future in which each one of you all likes and would desire. Now, before you start talking,
No, I have something. Go ahead.
Whoa,
Go ahead.
whoa, wait.
Go ahead before you attack me. But go ahead though. You finish your thought because I want to make Ricky feel like nothing, like dirt, like this. He's gonna feel bad with what he's saying right now. Go ahead. Continue, Ricky.
that's your goal. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll be done. Let me hear it.
Yeah. No. You finish. Finish your thoughts.
My question is,
Go ahead. Keep going.
what's the delay? And how can we overcome it?
Actually, I'm glad that you asked that. And again, I'm gonna make Ricky feel like dirt, like this. Anyway, I'm just joking.
Now I know how to not to feel.
Actually, we did start something recently.
Okay.
Well, a couple things. So I'll say one of the beautiful things that I love that God is always talking to us, and He's always, giving us, knowledge and things that we need to know. Because as far as maybe we might have one idea that is only us and seeing us by ourselves, but then He'll speak to us and say, you know what? It's not just you by yourself. You have either other people around you, or in this specific case, you have a spouse. All right. So that is saying, a couple of years ago, my wife and I, we did start a marketing firm, but we did nothing with it. So we started.
I remember that.
Yeah, we started.
So she started working out.
Yeah, we started Delve, a marketing group, but then again, we kind of scared ourselves, or we kind of started it without knowing what exactly we wanted to do with it. Because I love marketing and communications. I love, there's so many different elements, social media marketing or proximity marketing. I can talk about marketing for ever, it feels, and collaborating, brainstorming and such and so on and so forth. But that's me and only me, my background, right? But Jessica and I, we also have a background in training. I'm a certified technical trainer, and I was a trainer for 12 years for the company I worked at prior. So I was a communications and training manager. And Jessica, she does training where she is as well. Well, God spoke to us about, hey, and also for 12 plus years, I was in the government sector, and so on. So government contracting. So God spoke to us recently and said, hey, how about you take your love of communications and marketing and take Jessica's love or, passion or skill set in training, and also O'Neill, your skill in training, come together to form a company to also now go out and do government contract work and so on and so forth. And so I am excited to say that is what we did not too long ago. We formed a company. Yeah, 2022, we formed a new company, and we are now putting in to combine my passion of marketing communications and, her and my skills in training and her skills in training as well, where we are bidding for government contracts and so on. We put in, to serve as the prime, you have to at least have 2 years where your business has been established. But what you could do is you can partner and serve as a sub on different contracts. Yeah. And we are working with an organization that is applying. They've been in business for some time, where they're applying as the primary, and then we're coming in as sub, and so on and so forth. We're praying and believing God that 2023 we'll have at least 2 contracts that we've landed. in that space and whatever, and then we'll see what that could potentially be. 2023, that's it. 2023. Okay. For that to grow. We not too long ago partnered with them where we helped to write the RFP, for our contract, waiting to hear back on that. And she and I were also looking to do like local, state, contracts and different things where we're bringing in the communication, the marketing, the training component, the education component too, how the two of us can work together to make it even bigger. So yes, we are moving forth on it. Yes, there were times where a lot of, excuses and different things did occur, right? And we did some years ago start something that we did nothing with it. But now, God spoke to us and said, hey, you're not in this by yourself. It's, two, better than one, right? Yep. So, let's go ahead and get you two to combine your skills to make it even bigger and better.
And this, my friends, is the benefit and the reason for community and being around the right people, because yes, he's said those things. I wasn't on him every year. I wasn't on him every time that I came around him and asked him, what about this? What about that? However, what I did know is that as he spoke about it before, there was a burning desire and passion to see it through. Yeah. And where I am as a person is I love when people have a passion for a thing and have a desire to do a thing, they act on that thing. But it's now cool to, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, finish, because I was going to say something. Keep going.
So now it's cool to see that they are active in it. So now my wife and I can be prayerful with them, can be encouraging to them, can check in on them to ask them how things are progressing as well. Just talk about life in general, because we're friends outside of this and in it all and with it all. So it's cool. It's just cool now. But then another thing that was shared that I don't know if everybody caught, if you had the ears to catch it, but he also shared another way for business to be done. Oftentimes people think that you have to start a business and then you phone a friend and you phone social media and things like that to get clients. No, there are other clients out there that you can use that will supplement and bring revenue to your business. And he just shared a jewel of one in which here in America, right, it's not everywhere, but here in America we have the ability to get government contracts. So that is the thing. So even as you talk, you are able to collaborate and find out new ideas, but oftentimes people don't know about government contracts.
That is,
But I mean, you shared that. However, within, again, see, I'm packaging this all within the Innovation Center. The place that I have in mind is called the Destiny Arena. And so a place in which people can ultimately live out their destiny, and it'll be a birthplace for that to be, as well as a home for where other people are fulfilling their destiny. So, all that to say,
couple things. I
love that, bro.
Couple things. I'll say,
and congratulations to the Devils, okay?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Publicly acknowledge a congratulatory applause for both O'Neal and Jessica, knowing that it will trickle down to generations to come.
We're excited. U.S. Communications Solution. That's the name of our company that we started.
That's very broad and good. That's cool.
U.S. Communications Solution. So
that's cool.
Everything's in place.
Just U.S. or United States?
Well, it's a combination. So United Services, and then the U and the S we have, it's small, like us. You know what I mean? But that's
cool.
Yeah, we're super excited, and kind of going back to what you'd mentioned too. Yeah. At times, like government contracts or different things, there's money out there. Part of the problem, I would say, sometimes with people too, we sometimes want something for nothing, right? We want to be rich. We want all the money in the world, but sometimes people don't want to work for it. You got to work for it, things, right? And then you got to know the right things, because the government and so on, they'll have money aside, for things. And part of the thing too, I'll go ahead and say, if you own a business, and don't be afraid to share what you are doing, because you might not know it all, but don't be afraid to share what you're doing, because sometimes people get in the mindset of, well, if I tell you about it, you're going to then go in that space, and then you're going to take money away from me. If you knew how much money there is out there that's just free or available,
Facts.
Not free, of course you got to put in the contract and bid for whatever else. But if we all knew what was available, we wouldn't be super afraid that, oh no, you're going to take money away from, or you're going to be a competitor now, whatever. And competition is good, actually. It helps to make us be even better at what we do.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron, right? So, as you were talking earlier, something that came to mind, too, as we've talked about the fact that to not be afraid to speak up and share your ideas with people, because I was thinking, you might have someone who is in your life who maybe does not have, the ability to be like an immediate or, I'm thinking of the way that I want to say it, but immediate, like, contribute to that idea. But, something that you said earlier about, holding someone accountable, you could do something to hold someone accountable to be like as an encourager or like that extra kick to get them to start a thing. So as you were talking, I thought about, and I don't know if you remember, but like some years ago, you took my necklace, right? So my wife bought me this gold necklace when we were dating, so many years ago. So it was something that was, dear to me. And I had this necklace for many years. And then my son, when he was born, you know how babies do, they reach for stuff or whatever. And then he reached and it broke and it popped. So I put the necklace away for like 5 years, I think it was. It was broken, and I had it hidden, blah, 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 blah. Then finally, I went to a place and a jewelry repair store, because that never dawned on me to like repair, but I didn't throw it away, whatever. So I finally got it repaired, and I got my necklace back, right? After having the necklace probably for like a couple months, this guy took the necklace away from me. I'm trying to think how he even went in behind me and take it off or whatever. Because we were talking, and then he said, you try to take something else from me. And then we came to a compromise. Okay, it was the necklace or whatever. So then it was, all right, I'm going to hold on to this thing. I'm going to take this thing from you as an encourager, a motivator for you to finally take the first step necessary to get, or not the first step.
That was the one for the business. For the business,
for you to at least establish the business. So he had the necklace, and it was on my mind every day. Ricky, where's my necklace? Don't leave it laying around. Where's that? So it almost every day, and I want to say like at least like maybe 3 or 4 months or whatever had gone by, and then we had worked towards finally getting the business established. Then you asked for proof that we had the business, the LLC, and all that, and then you finally gave me the necklace back. But
just as pristine as I received.
Yeah, it was a motivator, right? So like maybe you can do something to then have someone kind of hold you accountable, like, hey, whatever that thing is, like to help get you started with whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to even be a business. Maybe it's going back to school. Maybe it's starting a family if you're married, right? Like you've always wanted kids, but
that you know that you should do or should have done or want to do or see yourself doing, but you just haven't done it thus far.
Yeah.
And so to your point, it could be one of those things, having a family, having kids, going back
buying
to
a house or, a new car, whatever it might be. We'll make up excuses and reasons why we can't do a thing, even though we might be very much skilled in that area.
Capable and able,
right? But then it's going to be too much work. Well, come on, what do you expect, right? It's going to be, statistically, it's every business that starts, 50% or whatever fail within the first year. Well, what about the 50% that do succeed? Now, I don't know if those percentages are right, but
correct.
But if we're focusing on the negative, if I do this thing or, if I start a YouTube channel or whatever, what if I only get one view? That's one more than you had before or whatever,
Very true.
One will lead to 2, will lead to 3, and so on and so forth. And next thing you know, boom, any and everyone and everything started somewhere. God gave an idea. God gave you skills and abilities, and God put people in your life or whatever it might be. Everything starts somewhere.
Yeah. And I think too, as I come to my last thought, is that a tattoo that I've been wanting to get for the longest
is my name?
Not your name.
Wow.
Because you were going to let me finish and tell you the truth. And so the truth is, I've been wanting to get on my forearm right here, it is finished. Which are the last words of Jesus on the cross. In the book of John, according to the book of John, 19:30, it is finished. But with it, it also is symbolic of so many things. But as it pertains to this here topic, it's the idea and the fact that when Jesus or when God shares anything with us, he tells us a finished work. Right? He doesn't tell us when it's going to happen. He doesn't tell us how it's going to happen. He just tells us a thing.
Yeah.
So it's just a reminder for me and hopefully for you that whatever it is that God shares for you to do, or whatever it is that God is pushing you to do, whatever it is you feel within you that you should do or get done, know that it's already finished. However, you are to take the necessary steps to get started to take a step, then take that next step, one step at a time, and you will see that finished work come to pass. Now, whatever that means, right? It could be, if it is having a child, it's finished once you have the child, or starting a business, it could be once you make X amount of dollars or able to pass it on. Whatever finish looks like for you, if God spoke it, God will surely bring it to pass with that mindset of it is finished. And you know, one of the other last things is, I laugh when I say one step because Chris and I had an idea. Our first YouTube endeavor, which we never posted the videos, we just recorded them. But we were going to do like a ministry for young adults, and it was going to be called One Step United.
Okay.
And the logo was like the, you know, God gave me this idea, so you can't laugh at it. But it was like a stencil, if you will, of like a shoe, which, you know, like men's shoe have like the heel.
Yeah.
So it had that little indenture, and then it was like, it was a O in it for the one, the S was all in it, and then the heel part was the U. It was like One Step United. And we had done 2 videos, bro, and I tell you, those were the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Crystal was fighting against me. She didn't want to do the video.
Really?
She was blah, blah, blah. What about this? I look like this. I don't want to. Bro, we only did 2. I wish I had that laptop. I don't. It was a Toshiba laptop.
Oh, I was going to say the videos. Maybe it wasn't right for that time, right? But then maybe it's a thing that you can revisit. And,
oh yeah, no, it's something that we're doing now,
yeah,
under a different name.
Yeah, yeah.
On the YouTube channel that she pretty much heads up. But yeah, man, it's just funny, right? Like 7 years ago, we were fighting, like off camera, vocally, like about doing these videos.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at us now.
Look at you now.
So in it all, with it all, be around the right people. And know that whatever you have in mind will come to pass, will take place if you do and are active in making it happen. So I'm excited for you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you.
You know,
thank you.
I had the idea I was about to come at you, you know what I'm saying? But
you were coming.
I'm happy on the back end knowing that activity has taken place
with
the desires of your heart.
Definitely. So. We're super thrilled and excited. Looking forward to the future, what God has for us. So,
so get active, believers. The world needs you to be active.
Yes.
You need you to be active.
Yes.
We need you to be active.
Yes.
I'm going to be active in the things and all the things that I have in my heart's desire. We're going to be mindful of the things that they are active, him and his wife are active about. Looking forward to testimonies and stories of victories, right? Because we know that is truly our promised result in the things that we do. So, in it all, with it all, we love you. We thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for staying with us. You know, like, subscribe, of course. And as we often say, drop in the comment section if you want us to cover a specific topic, or maybe, you know, based on what we've talked about today, you have words of encouragement that you want to share with those who will view this, you know, video, or, you know, so on. So let us know. We want to hear from you. You hear from us, we want to hear from you, right? You see us, we don't see you, but we want to read what you write.
Wow.
So that we can go ahead and continue to uplift one another as we continue on this faith walk. So thanks again.
Till next time.
See ya.